Hello everyone, Emporos here, and today I wanted to show a comprehensive tutorial video on how I set up my tool sets. Now, you can be a scalper, swing trader, investor, how you select ideas, how you filter different assets, cryptos, equities, commodities, forex even. I just wanted to give you a clear view of how to handle each of these markets using my favorite setup. Now, we have different templates in the Discord. Make sure you go to the Discord. You can get even more help there, more examples there. For now, though, I am going to show you my basic setup. And that starts with our two signature tools, Fisher Base and VZO Base. Now, when you subscribe to the toolkits, you will get a filter table. You have the VZO and the Fisher. My VZO is not up here right now. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So you can swap between both. Some of them have different tools. These will be worked on even more in the future. However, they are really good at telling you exactly the type of leading indicator signal you should follow. Now remember, these are tools. They are designed to help you and assist with your trading. They are not a magic ball. Just want to make that clear before we get started. Now, you can copy my setup if you want, or you can start inputting all of these in. The settings are very straightforward. I recommend the market volume, not market volume, the market color code, so it looks better on darker charts, but you can use it however way you want. Now, we're on the daily right now. As you see, we had a buy 3,742 from the current price, right? This is the daily. And we had a VZO also buy a little faster, and the VZO will color your chart. It'll color code it, so it's very easy to see, hard to miss, right? So now take this all in. We had a very good move on the daily up to here so far, 6-7%, pretty nice. Now, how do I recommend you take signals on, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the others? We're going to go through it, and hopefully this clears up any questions people looking to subscribe to the toolkits might have, anyone using them might have, or just improving your edge overall as you use the tools. Now, I start with the daily, and these are probably the most reliable signals, the higher time frames. When you get higher than 3 days, though, you get a little bit of a lag. So let's go real quick before I get into the daily. Let's say we do it's called a top-down approach. So we start from the high time frames and go down. So let's start with 1 week. As you can see, we had a weekly sell signal around July, around I say it was around 118. I remember because both time frames they have confluence, right? So you want to check the weekly, check the 3 day, check the daily, and you would see the sell signals around 118 on average. We went all the way down to 107, and we even got an extra VZO sell signal there. So that did its job, right? Because we had our last buy signal in April around 85, 84K. And that was on the weekly. It was even quicker on the lower time frame. So we had a buy signal at 84K and a sell signal at 118K. You can't get much better than that. And since we're in an uptrend, you don't need to hold the short forever. It was definitely a hard short to hold, especially with the alts showing a lot of strength, as you can tell by the latest rally. So you don't need to take every signal. Let me say that again. You don't need to overtrade and take every single signal you see. It's what a tongue twister. So let's go to the 3 day now. We had so when you see, okay, let's go over some of the confusing stuff first. When you see a lot of chop and noise, it just means there's likely to be chop and noise in the chart. So the VZO is primarily on volume. Fisher is good for turning points. So we had a sell signal here around 115, 116-ish before we went to 107. And now we have a buy after the daily printed quite a large return on our buys. So as we keep going down the top-down approach, okay, we had a sell recently on the 12-hour on the 13th. We're 820 points up there, 6-hour, 1,000. So we actually been doing really good. And the hourly is saying buy now, along with our volume bars. So this detects accumulation and distribution. I colored mine white. And now, like I said, I don't see signs of distribution. So I believe this will be accumulation if we rally up to 118 here in the near future. So you can take a decent trade up to 118 with a pretty good risk reward ratio, but you do have to monitor it. I wouldn't recommend leaving it hanging. It's not a swing trade. Swing trades are sort of delayed right now in the current market environment. Okay, so let's go over now. Top-down approach, you go cycle through each time frame. Then we'll go over the filters with the tables here in a second. So on the lower time frame, you're going to get a lot more chop, right? Like I said, don't take every signal. You look clearly at the higher time frames, and they will give you a better picture overall. 4 hour is one of my favorites for execution. As you can see, you can get a lot of solid trades here. The dot system in place, so when you get a sell here and it starts going back to your entry, it'll cancel it with a dot. So that means reduce risk, close the trade, take the L, move on to the next signal. In the long run, the signals are profitable. We are getting data to improve our toolkits, advance them. We have an alert feature coming out for the premium section. Working on the algorithmic side of trading for my firm. There was a lot we do, and the reason why I lease these out to you guys is so I can get data, improve them, hear your thoughts, and teach people a framework instead of just getting completely destroyed. Because crypto is an entirely new market. It is amazing to develop tools for crypto and then use them for other markets. I hope that makes sense. And let's carry on. We have the dot system covered. We have the time frames covered. The table we have covered too. It calculates the exact profit from the signal. So when we get a sell signal here, you might see, oh, it also doesn't come up when the time, so in 5 hours, it'll pop up on the 3-day. It'll tell you from when exactly the signal came in. However, it's more or less saying it was around now. So we covered all of that. So yeah, when we have the sell signal, it'll recover from the last position it's signaled from. So we have a sell here. It's down 820, no dot yet. However, it did its job because it was early in the week. And weekly time frames are often delayed, as I mentioned. Like it takes a week for it to play out. It takes 2 weeks for it to play out. As you see from the February sell-off that we had here, we had a sell signal in the weekly. It took 1, 2, 3, let's say 2.5 weeks before it really paid off. And then we got our buy. So it's worth keeping in mind. It means, like you see on these guys on a Hyperliquid where they're risking 40 million and they're getting liquidated on a 5% range. Yeah, it means probably won't happen to you if you use these tools. So that covers Bitcoin and how to use it. When you get into stuff like, say, Solana, right, it's been pretty clear on stuff like Solana. If you look at Pump, you can even, this is one of my favorite ones, by the way. Where is the raw Pump chart? I think, here it is. Daily Pump chart. I drew this out the moment it launched. I posted in the Discord. A lot of you guys wanted me to make a video on this separately. I just might on how to, I called it a cheat sheet on how to trade. So we had a buy, told us to sell, had a buy, and we're riding the trend. And you would just trail stop loss here and then exit once it falls underneath it. These X's mean that it's overextended. It is in a strong trend. So it's a warning sign basically to trail your stop, be careful. Don't pyramid as much anymore. We're already way up on the filter, above 5. So we're covering different time frames, different assets. Ethereum, some people had questions about how to take a low time frame signal when you get a bunch of noise. But the answer to that is just to go on the higher time frames and wait for it to match up. If you have the higher time frame saying it's a big sell and the 1 hour says to buy, how long are you really going to hold that trade? I'm going to hold it for 1 hour, right? A couple hours. You don't want to bet the farm and hold it forever type swing trade type deal. No. How much time are we in right now? I don't want to drag on. I want to try to make this clear and efficient as possible. Address any questions you might have. Not entirely sure how long it is, but I'll edit this out. Okay. Dogecoin was another one. We had accumulation here from the spike on August when Bitcoin was 125,000, right? And we fell and held this whole range as Bitcoin dropped almost $20,000. And then we got our buy signal on September 5th. And as you see, we have a sell signal now, which is probably just a take profit. It's normal profit taking. And we probably go for round two because in the higher time frames, there's our dot system, by the way. On the higher time frames, you can see, I can get my chart working properly. You can see we have a very big buy signal. I think we're going up to the next level here, round two to 40 cents. So that could be very interesting. Solana, same deal. So now let me explain one of these setups you might see somewhat often. If you get a sell and then a buy and then a cancel and a sell, this just means chop. This whole area, you have to analyze it as what it is, a range. So you want to, it tells you exactly what you need to know. Like you wouldn't need to worry about shorting here when it keeps canceling over and over. It's choppy, right? This is a whole choppy range. Very choppy. Actually kind of a big range. 8% range, 5% range. And then eventually we got confirmation here with the VZO, the color of the chart. Most of these signals are pretty powerful, except for here, which it would have canceled and you would have took the quick and easy loss, right? And then you would have got a huge buy that paid off for it and another huge sell that paid off and another buy that would have paid off. And then you would have realized the chop. So, like I said, it's not infallible. Just trade the signals as they come along, look for the most optimal one, and it should be very helpful for you guys. You can use this on any market. SPX, we have had a buy signal for a very long time from April. VZO has done a great job at continuing the trend on volume. Like I said, Fisher is for turning points, and when we're in a parabolic trend like this on equities, you're going to get a lot of chop, as you see. So this is a situation where I would focus on the higher time frame, which, as you see, very good. Let's go weekly. Still continuing on the weekly, over 1,000 on the S&P. That is a crazy number, by the way, guys. It's crazy. 2 weeks as well. We have the sell-off from December. Paid off big. Switched to a buy here with everything else. VZO came in, clapped a buy. And a 5 to 10% dip here would probably be a gift. So, like I said, it's great for confluence. Make sure you run these two together. We have the ATR as well, which is great for stop losses or where you should expect price to go to or within the range. It's volatility. Here on my current settings, I actually use two of them. This one is 5 and 3.5, and this one is 2 and 3. ATR is very useful. The pivotal grid, also based on Murray math, does really well in determining your support and resistance levels for you automatically. Lets you know when things are getting into different territory, and you can make your own trade based on that knowledge. And yeah, I think this is a great first video. There's going to be a lot more, okay? We're going to go into even more in depth on how to trade the different grids, some of the ATR strategies, how to evolve Fisher and VZO into, live trading, real trading. Some of the trades I did, some more highlights. A lot of this you see live in the Discord, so please go there if you haven't already. And I hope this helps. It should give you a much more clearer view of how to use the tools. Thank you guys, as always. Appreciate the support. Have a good one, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.